Shalom and greetings, everybody. Jerusalem Jane here, sitting in the bedroom in the house where I'm staying with friends. There's literally people staying in all the rooms. So I had to ask someone, can I please just go and make videos in your room because there's more light in here than in my room? And she was like, sure. So I'm sitting here on the bed. I am literally doing the best that I can. So guess what? It's a special day. You can hear I'm still trying to get over COVID. But it's a special day here in Israel. You're never going to guess what today is. It's a full holiday. Why? Well, 6.8, almost 6.8 Israelis are going to go vote today. Yeah, you heard me right. There's another election in the Holy Land. This is the 5th election in a little bit less than 4 years. So how is that going to work, you wonder? Because I know last time there has been election, people are a little bit confused. So let me try and explain it as best as I possibly can. People can vote between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. And after that, they are taking all the votes and they're going to count and count and count. And they're going to count again and they're going to count again to make sure that everything is done properly. And of course, then it's going to go out on the website from the election committee's website, and then it's going to go out to all the major news channels. And there's going to be exit polls. And unless it's too tight, unless it's neck to neck, and you have to really go in and do the nitty-gritty counting everything, then a winner will be announced later tonight. But the official result is going to come on Thursday, and November 9 the result is going to be given to Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel. So how does it work here in Israel? Well, when you go and vote today, you don't vote for a person, you vote for a party. And there is actually almost around 30 different parties you can vote for. The party that gets the most votes, normally the leader of that party is the one who's being called to the president of Israel saying, your party got the biggest number of votes, so I'm going to give you the mandate to try and make a coalition. For the last many elections, that has been given to Benjamin Netanyahu because his party, which is called Likud, is always the one who gets the most votes. I think they are estimating between 33 elected members tonight for his party. So when he will be giving the mandate, let's assume it's going to be Netanyahu, then he has to go out to the other parties and say, would you stand with me? Would you recommend me as prime minister? Would you join my coalition? And then he has to find enough parties who got enough votes for them. So when they pull them all together, there has to be at least 61, because you need a majority out of 120. So it's super exciting down here because it's actually quite close. Here in Israel, there is what they call a right wing from the center going to the right, which is Likud, Benjamin Netanyahu's party. It's the two ultra-Orthodox parties, and then it's the religious Zionist parties here in Israel. Then you have, like in the middle, with Benny Gantz and his party. He's the current foreign minister. The current defense minister. We have Yair Lapid, who is the leader of Yesh Atid, which he's now the current prime minister. They are kind of like in the middle, and then you go more left, and then of course all the way out in the ends. Guess what? We have several Arab parties. Yep, you heard me right. There is no apartheid in Israel. We have Arab members of the Israeli parliament, members who is visiting terrorists in prisons, who is supporting the terrorist who is murdering the Jewish people. We have members of Knesset, the Israeli parliament, Arab members who is calling Israel an apartheid state, who is saying Israel is occupying Palestine, and yet they are sitting in the Israeli parliament. So it's going to be very, very tight. It's going to be very tight. My hair is growing. For many people, like in the rest of the world, when you vote for what's happening in with my money and in my wallet, because financially a lot of people are struggling. Some people are saying, who's going to do most for me financially? Who's going to do most for me and my family so I can pay my rent? I can feed my children, which is important for everybody, and that's the same here in Israel. But there's one thing that's even more important, and that's security. That's your safety. In a nation that is surrounded by enemies, in a nation that knows that Iran is racing against the clock to make the mother of all bombs so they can bomb Israel. It's a nation that has a terror regime, Hamas, running the Gaza Strip, who has sent 20,000 rockets into Israel since the Israelis were forcefully removed from that really nice piece of land in the Gaza Strip. We have terror attacks upon terror attacks. Jewish people are being murdered in the streets, in supermarkets, in their homes. They're being shot, they're being stabbed, they're being rammed over in a car, they're being chopped down with machetes and axes for no other reason than just being Jewish, living in the lands that God gave to them, living in the land that was liberated from foreign armies, living in the land where God said, I will plant you, never for you to be uprooted again. So when they're going to the polls today, for a lot of Jews, for a lot of Israelis, the most important thing is I want to vote for someone. I want to vote for a party who is going to do what's right for Israel, who's not going to go left and right, depending on what America wants them to do, what the United Nations want them to do, what the European Union or anybody wants them to do, but someone who's going to say we're going to stand proud, we're going to stand strong, we're going to do what's right for Israel. And we are not allowing a Palestinian terror state right in the heartland of Israel, where we have to forcefully remove 500,000 Jews out of Judea and Samaria to give up land to someone who doesn't even want a two-state solution. No, they want all of Israel turned into a Palestinian state. And we have terror upon terror attacks upon terror attacks, funeral upon funeral in this country. So for many people, when they go and vote today, they are saying we're going to vote to the right. We want a strong, solid right-wing government because we do not want a two-state solution. People who is voting for the left, well, Israel's current Prime Minister Yair Lapid stood in the United Nations and said that Israel is backing a two-state solution. So for many people, that's where it comes down to. They are voting from their wallet. I want to feed my children. I want to be able to pay my rent. And then it comes to security. I want to have my children to be safe in Israel and not give up lands to a fake Palestinian state. I want to end this video by saying, for all of you around the world, you know that this is God's land and this is God's holy land. And you know that what happens here is going to affect the rest of the world. This is the front gate to the rest of the world. Israel is the front door to the rest of the world. So pray for this nation. Pray for the right outcome of this election. Pray for a strong leader who's going to stand and say, you know what? We are going to do what's right for Israel. We are not going to bend to what the rest of the world is going to say. We're going to do what it takes to protect our people, to protect our borders now and for eternity. Follow me on all my social media. I will do my best to keep you updated throughout the day. Especially go follow my new Telegram channel, Jerusalem Jane. I will share a link because if you follow me on Facebook, there are so many of you who is actually not even seeing my videos because I'm being so heavily restricted. So follow my new Telegram channel, Jerusalem Jane, because I'm also sharing a lot of news there that doesn't necessarily go out on Instagram and on YouTube. But I love all of you. Thank you for following all my social media for such a time as this. You can make a difference for praying for Israel, for the right government. Today, it is so important. Bye.